On my wedding morning, I got one text from my mom: "Don't ruin their vacation with your guilt trip." Then I saw the post: "My entire family had a luxury poolside brunch." Caption: "We finally feel whole." I turned off my phone, said my vows, then went home and pulled every corporate card, froze the foundation's account, and initiated the trust dissolution. A week later, my dad was at my door, red-faced. This was their greatest betrayal. Not when they skipped my graduation after I moved across the country and finished college alone. Not when they used my name to get a business credit line without asking. Not even when they laughed behind my back at Christmas 2 years ago, saying I was a tech fluke with too many emotions. I brushed all of that off. I told myself they didn't mean it the way it sounded. That maybe they were just too old school, too stuck in their ways, or didn't know how to show love the right way. But this was deliberate. This was coordinated. And the worst part, I'd still hoped. I really had. I had 3 extra seats reserved in the front row, place cards printed, name tags tied with silver ribbon. My fiancée, now wife, had asked me the week before if I was sure about including them. I told her yes. I told her maybe this would be the moment they showed up for me. Really showed up. And I didn't want to deny them the chance. I should have known better. At 10:42 a.m. the morning of my wedding, I checked my phone for the last time before the ceremony. I wasn't expecting a miracle, just something, a text, a call, maybe a photo from the road. Instead, there was one message from my mom: "Don't ruin their vacation with your guilt trip." No greeting, no explanation, no apology, just that. I froze. I reread it twice, then opened Instagram without thinking. My brother had posted something to his story, a boomerang of my entire family laughing by a pool, raising glasses of champagne. Caption: "We finally feel whole." They were in Napa at the Alberts, a place I recommended to my mom last year when she said she needed a break from the noise. She laughed and said it was too extravagant. Guess it wasn't too extravagant for the weekend of my wedding. They had all gone: my parents, my brother, his wife, even our Uncle Greg, who didn't do family events, was there wearing sunglasses and holding a cigar like he was the king of something. That brunch was their celebration. Not me, not my marriage, not my future, their brunch. I sat back on the hotel bed in my tux, the tie suddenly strangling me. I didn't reply, didn't text them, didn't call. I didn't tell anyone what I saw. I turned off my phone and left it on the nightstand. The ceremony went ahead. Fewer guests than we planned, but the ones who mattered were there. Her parents hugged me like I was their own. My friend showed up dressed to the nines and loud with support. I said my vows. She said hers. We kissed. People clapped. We posed for pictures under string lights. But inside, something was turning. Not just anger, not grief, something colder, quieter. That night, while the rest of the party moved upstairs to the bar, I stayed behind. Our suite had a small desk. I opened my laptop. Step 1, cancel the cards. There were 6 active under my corporate umbrella. 2 my dad used for business meals that always seemed to involve golf clubs and cigars. 1 under my brother's name, he claimed it was for client travel, but he never had clients. 1 under my mom's name for charity work. The last 2 were ghosts, aliases they used so they could siphon extra cash through vendors that didn't exist. Gone. All frozen in minutes. Step 2, the foundation. My foundation started after my second software company went public. I had poured a portion of the proceeds into it to support education grants, community initiatives. I brought my family in so they'd have something to be proud of, a legacy they could grow. They turned it into a trophy shelf, lavish board dinners, international site visits that were really just luxury vacations. I froze every account and notified the board. No more access. Full audit pending. Step 3, the trust established before I turned 30, designed to secure not only my future but theirs, generational wealth, protection, stability. I'd already been considering dissolving it after a few years of watching them drain it without appreciation or purpose. That night, I initiated the process. There were safeguards, but I knew the language. I knew the loopholes. It would take a few weeks, but it would end. By midnight, my family had no idea that the lifestyle they'd curated so carefully through my name was collapsing in real time. The next morning, my phone was still off, but the messages had already started piling up because this wasn't just a reaction. It was the start of something they didn't see coming. I turned my phone back on around 10 o'clock the next morning. My wife was still asleep, curled up in the hotel sheets, peaceful in a way I envied. For a few seconds, I stared at the screen, watched the flood roll in. 37 missed calls, 17 voicemails, dozens of texts, mostly from my dad and brother, some from unknown numbers I didn't recognize, but I knew exactly who they were. My mom's church friends, Greg's drinking buddies, people who had no business in this, but were suddenly concerned. The voicemails were all over the place, confused, angry, demanding. My dad's voice first, tight, clipped, full of fake calm. "Brian, call me. We need to talk. You've made a mistake." Then my brother: "What the hell did you do to the cards? I was in the middle of booking something for Mom. You seriously trying to screw us over the day after your wedding?" Then Mom: "I told you not to make this about you." That was it. No greeting, no apology, just blame. Still, I didn't respond. I got dressed, took my wife out for brunch in the city, and let it all sit. By the time we got back, I had 3 emails from the foundation board, the head of compliance, 2 junior lawyers. They'd received immediate notifications that certain funds had been frozen pending an audit. I'd worded the notice carefully, cited financial irregularities, and included screenshots, years of small transactions that built a case. It wasn't just personal anymore. It was official. That afternoon, my brother called again. I let it go to voicemail. "Okay, so what now, man? You're going to take everything just because we didn't show up to your wedding? That's how petty you are. You know how much we do for you behind the scenes? Do you have any idea how bad this makes you look? I laughed out loud. My wife looked up from her book. I just shook my head and handed her the phone. She listened, gave it back, and said, "You're doing the right thing." And I knew I was, because this wasn't revenge for missing my wedding. This was decades of build-up, finally breaking the dam. Their absence just clarified what I already knew. They never cared unless there was something in it for them.